Number 700. More love to thee, O Christ. Number 700. More love to thee, O Christ, more love to thee. Hear thou the prayer I make on bended knee. This is my earnest plea. Store love, O Christ, to thee, more love to thee, more love to thee. Once earthly joy I crave, thought, peace, and rest. Now thee alone I seek, give what is best. This all my prayer shall be, more love, O Christ, to thee, more love to thee, more love to thee. When shall my latest breath whisper thy grace? This be the parting cry my heart shall make. This still my prayer shall be, more love, O Christ, to me, more love to thee, more love to thee. Number 747. Sing on, you joyful pilgrims. 747. Sing on, you joyful pilgrim, nor think the moments long. My faith is heavenward bounding with every tuneful song. Let on the mount of blessing, the glorious mount, I stand, and looking over Jordan, I see the promised land. Sing on, O blissful music, with every note you raise. My heart is filled with rapture, my soul is lost in praise. Sing on, O blissful music, with every note you raise. My heart is filled with rapture, my soul is lost in praise. Sing on, ye joyful pilgrims, while here on earth we stay. Let songs of home and Jesus beguile each fleeting day. Sing on the grand old story of his redeeming love, the everlasting chorus that fills the realms above. Sing on a blissful music with every note you raise. My heart is filled with rapture, my soul is lost in praise. Sing on, O blissful music, with every note you raise. My heart is filled with rapture, my soul is lost in praise. Sing on, ye joyful pilgrim, the time will not be long till in our Father's kingdom we swell a nobler song, where those we grind old stone, they greet us on that shore. We'll meet beyond the river, where exits flow no more. Sing on, O blissful music, with every note you raise. My heart is filled with gladness, my soul is lost in praise. Sing on, O blissful music, with every note you raise. My heart is filled with rapture, my soul is lost in praise. You may now go to class.
Where'd he go? Oh. There it is. There he goes. When you're feeling low, sad, or depressed, what do you typically do to try and make yourself feel better? Take a nap? That work? When I take a nap, it makes me feel worse. Go do something. Do something like what? Work? Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's focus on the one word here. When you are feeling depressed, any of you ever been in depression? Anybody? I've been in depression. Okay. I have somebody real close to me that was in depression. So much so he couldn't work. He didn't work for over a year. He didn't come out of his bedroom for over a year. Didn't go to church, didn't interact with family, stayed in his bedroom. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? What does your wife do with that? I love what what he said in Isaiah 58, starting with verse 10. If you pour yourself out for the hungry and satisfy the desire of the afflicted, then shall your light rise in the darkness and your gloom be as the noonday. What is gloom? It's depression. So what did this person do? He started walking dogs. He went down to the pound and started walking dogs. You're like, so what? Big deal. But they didn't have anybody. They didn't have anybody to spend any time with them. And before long, he started going back to church and greeting people at church and then leading part of the service at church. Why? Because of this verse. Not that he read it, because what Jesus or what God has promised us, that if we do these things, the gloom will go away. The depression will pass. It isn't a drug issue. It's not about putting more drugs in people. It's about getting out of ourselves and serving other people. It's really what it's all about. And I know it's not quite that simple, but it's a big start. No, I don't want to go. Hello. You don't want to go. There it is. How's looking out for the interests of others actually in your best interest? What's that? It's the golden rule. Okay. Buy gold and you'll get rich. That rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So, looking after their interests, okay. What else? Yes, ma'am.
It makes you feel needed.
Okay. Why do you want to feel needed?
Because then I have a purpose.
Then you have a purpose. It's nice to have a purpose, isn't it? Do we as Christians have purpose? Absolutely, right? And we're not just here to, and I saw something just recently that said, why are humans even here? I thought, oh, stand back. You want to know why you're here? In my daily Bible reading, I'm currently in Kings. I've been on there for a couple of weeks. Yes, ma'am. We were created for good works, weren't we? Not just work, we were created for good works. I've been reading through the Bible this year, and I'm following Chad Bird, as I had said before, and we're in Kings, and it's really striking to me in Kings, 1st and 2nd Kings, two guys that are in there that we don't teach a lot about, we don't talk a lot about, and that's Elisha and Elijah. And when he's talking about race cars and minivans, I mean, they're injected into these stories all through Kings over and over again. Just briefly, what was their role? Do you know? What was their role to Judah and to Israel? to call them back to God, wasn't it? Yeah, to call them back to God. They were terrible kings. I mean, after Solomon, and Solomon was a bad king too, by the way, if you don't, you go back and read. I mean, he wasn't a good guy either. But the guys after him, whew, man. And it says over and over again, they did what was not good in the sight of God. They did not do what was good in the sight of God. It says that over and over and over. And he did what his father did, and that wasn't good. And he did what his father did, and that wasn't good. And what did Elijah and Elisha do? Say, get back to God. And they were so successful, turned all those kings around. How depressing of a job would that have been? I mean, can you imagine how depressing of a job that would have been? How hard of a job that would have been to go to the kings and said, God's not pleased with you. You're not doing the job that you're supposed to, and so you're going to die. And your children are also going to die. In fact, your whole household is going to die. I wonder what it was like to be that guy, to go and tell him that when he's got all the power in the world. To be able to go and tell him that and not be fearful. What's that?
I like Micaiah's way of doing it. He was running around that time. He was the sarcastic prophet.
Right.
He'd be like, oh yeah, no, God, you're going to be good. Can you go, and now it's
Oh.
And the prophet thinking, like, stop lying to me. Tell me what God actually said.
Yeah, that is a good story. When Judah and Israel come together and they said, I'm not going to go unless Micaiah gives me the word. Oh yeah, go ahead and go. It'll be great. Knowing that they're all going to get wiped out. So, yeah. What are some of the, go ahead.
That's one of the great examples of the importance of dramatic radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go on ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like we were talking last week about Jesus having a sense of humor. We read those verses, just read right through them. And yet Jesus was being hilarious at times. Some of the stuff he said was just out and out hilarious. And you can see that, you know, whether they caught it at first, eventually they catch on that he's being funny. What characteristics do our people in our culture tend to value today? Money. Yeah, money. That's one of them, isn't it? What else? What's that? Power. Yep.
The appearance of success.
Success. The appearance of success. Don't even have to be successful. You just look that way.
There's so many people on the internet that fake their success.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. That do what? Oh, blogs? Yeah, okay. Blogs. Yeah, those people who know everything. I mean, that's where I get all of my information and all of my wisdom is from blogs and vlogs on the internet because they know so much, yeah. What do you think our society places such emphasis on possessing these characteristics? I mean, those are the people we push in our society, right? I mean, we push into the front of the news, we push in front. Look at this example of this person. And I don't want to get into politics particularly, but they had an election yesterday in Texas. Two senators that were running off for Republican. And one of them's name is Paxton. I don't remember the other one's name. The other one's a standing senator. Paxton was the attorney general. And I thought, you know, our president supports him. Well, he must be a good guy. And then they started reading off the litany of things this guy has done. Cheated on his wife, he's fraud, bribery, was taken out of the Senate, out of the, you know, it's like, what? And who won? He did.
He did.
He won by an overwhelming majority. What do people value in this world? They value power in that case. Somebody powerful said that he's the right candidate, must be the right candidate. The other guy had voted 90%, over 90% Republican in everything he'd done. He said no a couple times. Probably no to the wrong person. We're all about power in this country. We're all about influence in this country. We're not about that in the church. That's not what we're supposed to be about. This is the guy you all know about. I mean, how many of you have done a book report on this guy? A biographical report, right? I mean, until he said the name tonight, did you know the name? I mean, I'd read it, but I couldn't pronounce it. Who is this guy? I have thought it necessary to send to you Epaphroditus. I don't know how to say it. I have sent to you Mr. E, my brother and fellow worker and fellow soldier and your messenger and the minister in my need. For he has been longing for you all and has been distressed because you heard that he was ill. Indeed, he was ill, near to death. But God had mercy on him, and not only on him, but on me also, lest I should have sorrow upon sorrow. I am more eager to send him, therefore, that you may rejoice at seeing him again, and that I may be less anxious. So receive him in the Lord with all joy, and honor such men. For he nearly died for the work of Christ, risking his life to complete what was lacking in your service to me. Think about those words forever written about you. This guy didn't expect his name to ever be written. And yet, there it is, forever. Proclaiming him as a servant of God. Yes?
You know, you hear the stories about people getting beat up on the path between cities and all this stuff. Many times, he's the guy who brought the gift from the church at Philippi to Paul, so Paul could have what he needed to do the work that he was doing. And so, I believe that's what they mean by risking his life. He took a large sum of money, I would think, and took it.
Or goods, yeah.
Goods from the church in Philippi and all the people that were a part of that church, and took it to Paul, so Paul could receive what he needed from the church. So.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, we know the story of Andrew. We talk about Andrew quite a bit. But this guy, it's pretty amazing who he was and how Paul talks about him and what Paul thinks of him and what God thinks about him. For you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For the whole law is fulfilled in one word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So service and loving your neighbor is tied together. That word serve, what does that mean to you? Any of you ever been a waiter or a waitress? I was in college. Awful job. Awful job. It can be fun, but is that what he's talking about? You're a waiter. You're a waitress. That's what you are, right? Serve? Not hardly. You know what the word literally means? What does it mean?
A strong element of humility.
A strong element of humility. Literally, it means you're a slave. You're a slave. Be a slave to others. Let's go back and read that again. But through love, be a slave to one another. That's really what he's saying. Not just help each other out, but you're at their command. That's a little bit different, isn't it? Has a little bit different flavor than just saying, I'm going to help you out. No, I'm your slave. What do you want me to do? I'm here at your command. Just a little different flavor, yes?
We've talked about in the past, everybody at some point in their life needs
Yes.
and work on that side of the service industry. I try to make it a point when I'm at the grocery store or wherever I am to thank somebody who's working.
Yep, I agree. I always greet the janitor because I've done that job. I did it in college and I did it, we've done it together. It's a thankless job, honestly. Being a janitor is a thankless job. And so it's worth it to say thank you. I worked for a guy he was the president of the company. And I watched him one day walking around the facility. He'd see trash on the floor. He'd reach down, pick it up, take it to the trash can, throw it away. I mean, this guy's the president of the company. He could have just he said, hey, get 3 or 4 people, go patrol the grounds. I mean, that's what they did in the Army when I was in the Army. All the officers said, go patrol the grounds, and we'd go pick up cigarette butts. But he was just doing that himself. He's just, serving. Yes, I saw another hand over here. Oh, James.
I was going to point out that in elementary schools and high schools in Japan, they make the kids do all the janitorial work.
Yeah.
They don't have a janitor staff at their schools.
Yeah. I was thinking about Japan today because I was looking at a different aspect, and I'll show you some stuff at the very end here. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I'll show it to you at the very end. Japan is an interesting country. I didn't want to go. My boss made me go. I didn't want to go. It is a fascinating country. Tokyo is the largest city in the world. I want you to stop and think about it. The largest city in the entire world is Tokyo. I don't even know how many millions of people live there. You get in the middle of downtown, you can't see the end of it. In a skyscraper, you can't see the end of Tokyo. It just spreads that far. What amazed me the most was the way the people acted. Get on the subway. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. What? Downtown, kids in their little school uniforms, this tall. First thing in the morning, last thing in the night, all by themselves, walking the streets, going to school. I'm like, whoa, we wouldn't do that here. We wouldn't even consider it here. But they can do it there because they learn to serve. Now that's going away, by the way. That country is changing and starting to flip over to Western values, which is a sad thing for that country because they have beautiful things. Everybody's employed. Everybody works together to make the country what it is. Yes?
When we were there, there was two, of course, we were Americans and played with them. But these two ladies, they were chatting with us, and they asked us where we wanted. We said we wanted to Tokyo, Disneyland. They said, "Do you know how to get there?" We're like, well, they missed 2 of their stops.
Just to take you.
And yes, and when
Yeah.
we got there, the gates opened, and they're like, "Sit," but they just did it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even give it a second thought. I don't know. And one thing when I was pregnant, I prayed for somebody to give up their seat. You don't do that. But they worked till 10 o'clock at night, and so they deserve it. I mean, I would walk from the train station to the park, walk from the train station. I never looked behind me. And at 10 o'clock at night, I would walk from the train to the train station. I never looked back. I never thought of it.
It was, and I haven't been there in a long time now, but I mean, it was an amazing country. And they had the concept of service, of serving others. It wasn't about themselves, it was about serving other people. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, when we lived in Okinawa, we went to Tokyo Disneyland. We weren't sure, it's like when we stepped on the train, because we saw a husband, the wife and the child got on the train, Americans, and the train took off while the husband was trying to figure out the stroller. So then we decided, because Brianna was still kind of little, we put Siobhan and Jesse in front, Brianna in the middle, and Jimmy and I in the back. And every time, we don't know the reasoning, because every time the train doors opened, we all stepped in as a group, and they're like, "Dozo, onegaishimasu, dozo." I said, I don't know if they gave us their seats because we was black or because we was big. We don't know. They were just being kind, but every time we stepped on
No,
the train,
they are,
"Dozo, onegaishimasu, dozo."
yeah, because they serve. They learned to serve, and it's a beautiful thing. Something our country is oftentimes forgot. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Our whole point is to serve other people. It's to think of other people as more important than ourselves. I mean, that's what service is all about, is I need to look at your needs, not mine. What do you need? What can I do for you? And then we're a lot happier in who we are and what we can do. How did Jesus personify that principle?
Washing the feet.
What's that?
Washing of the feet.
Washing of the feet's one example of it, isn't it? Yeah. What else?
Feeding the 5,000.
Feeding the 5,000. I just read that one too, just last night, you know. Hey, let's have them sit down and eat. What are you, nuts, Jesus? We don't have any food. It's a long way to town. Send them home. What do you got? We got some fish and loaves. Tell them to sit down. We're going to feed them. And it didn't say 5,000. It said 5,000 men. Whew. I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of kids, too. Jesus personified it in the most dramatic way, though, when he gave his life. He didn't have to do that. Jesus didn't have to die. He chose to die. And I think too often times we forget that it was a choice. God didn't make him do it. God allowed him to make that choice.
He said, no man takes my life, and I give it freely.
No man takes my life. I give it freely. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have your reward in heaven. And I know a lot of you here, and I've seen a lot of your service that you've done. I've never seen any of you doing service to be seen by anybody. In fact, most of the people here that I know do service that is pretty well hidden. And I think that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be flashy about what we do or how we do it. We're just supposed to do it. You know, spider in the urinal back there, you know, you're just supposed to get him out. Not me, because I don't like spiders. They scare me, so. I was telling David about that the other day, so it freaked me out. Why is it important to examine our motives when we serve other people? Why is it important? Yes.
Because Satan can slip in there with an idea this is going to be noticed. Somebody's going to say,
Yep.
thank you, God.
Yep. Somebody's going to say thank you, and hey, he's really good at that, or he's really cool, or she's really good. That's not what we're doing it for. We're doing it because we love them. And that's what he said about service. It's about love, loving one another. It's agape. What is a practical way, and I don't need to answer here, but what's a practical way you can serve others the next time you're feeling down? I know some of you are feeling down tonight. We have to break down the auditorium and put all the chairs up. We could use some servers there, so. How's that for a terrible, terrible segue? I talked to you a little bit about this. I just wanted to briefly talk, because I've talked about it before. That's our conversation. When we talk in the United States, this is one person's conversation, and this is how a person in the United States responds to them. The lines indicate me talking, and the other lines indicate you talking. And what do you notice about the lines? They overlap. In the United States, our conversations overlap. When I start talking, before I finish my thoughts, you're going to start talking back. And I do the same to you, because that's who we are. We don't really listen. That's how the Japanese talk. As I told you, I was sitting in a meeting, I went to a meeting on culture, and because I couldn't understand why the Japanese never spoke up in meetings. They never talked. And they outranked me far and away, but they never talked. This is why. Because they never had a gap where they could step into and speak. We never gave them one. And so they just sat back and just listened. Now, we're not the worst. If you're from Italy, that's how they talk in Italy. You get very few words out of your mouth before they start talking, and you do the same to them, so it's just a little bit different. Anyway, just I thought I'd share that with you, because I thought it was one of the most interesting things about culture that I'd ever heard and got to see. So, Let's close with a prayer. Anybody got any final thoughts? Nope? Okay. Let's close with a prayer. Father, we thank you for your son, Jesus. We thank you that he showed us how to serve, how he gave himself selflessly to us, how he gave himself selflessly to the poorest and the sickest and the weakest and the most sinful. But he still gave himself. And help us to see that example. Help us to take that example to heart and to live that example ourselves. Be with those who aren't here tonight. Care for them. Watch over them. Those that are mentioned who are sick, who are suffering from deaths in the family. We just pray for them and pray for your healing hand over them. In Jesus' name, amen.